So welcome to yoga in the Sun Valley Mountains. It's a little chilly. We're practicing outside today because it's just so spectacular out here with the mountains in the background, and spring is springing to life, and we're just so blessed to be here, be healthy, be happy. So we're going to start standing today, hands at heart center. Your big toe mounds touching if you can, and just lift and spread your toes, feel the energy of the earth or your mat below you, and close your eyes and just begin to breathe, and just breathe in the sense of Mother Earth springing to life, just the sense of resilience that our cells in our body want to be healthy, want to be whole. Imagine every cell in your body with a golden ray of light around it, just with protection, of resilience, of hope. Just breathe in that sense. Take a few nice deep breaths. Feel as though your feet are growing roots that are attaching deep into Mother Earth. Just breathe in a sense of gratitude that even though life may not be as we have known it, that there's always new blessings, new horizons, new ways that we can deepen our own spirits, our own practice. And breathing gratitude for our community, for our friendships that have stayed so solid, maybe have grown through this time of social distancing. And as you open your eyes, let's bring our arms overhead. Take a nice deep breath with a little heart opening back bend. And exhale and sweep your arms down to your first forward fold. Let your head drop and just begin to bend and pedal and shake your head and feel the awakening of your spine. And then just pause there, maybe grab opposite elbows and grow your spine a little longer. And twist over to the right. Over to the left and back to the center. And lengthen your spine. Draw your hands halfway up your shins and tilt into a fold again. As you lengthen your spine, this time strengthen your thighs and reach your arms up overhead. Draw your arms together and lift into that heart opening back bend. Feeling your cells come to life with strength, with lengthened immunity. Lengthen your spine and fold. This time bend your knees, sweep your arms up, pause for a moment in your chair, and rise up, open your heart, and exhale back to your fold. One more time, lift and lengthen your spine. And fold. Lengthen your spine, sweep your arms up, pause in your chair pose, and rise up. And as you're up this time, let's grab our left wrist in our right hand and take it over to the side. These side bending postures, switch sides, help to strengthen and purify the kidneys, the liver, the gallbladder. As you come back to center, open your arms, lift your heart again, go a little deeper in your back bend, squeeze your thighs, let your heart shine up, hips pull forward, and come into a nice deep forward fold in gorilla pose. Take your feet about hips width apart and tuck your hands underneath down to the wrists. Drop into your hips a little bit and draw your shoulder blades back. And then just begin to pull your hands against your feet to to activate your hamstrings. Let your head hang and just pull. And as we release that, inhale, sweep your arms up, draw those feet a little closer together, come into a nice chair pose. Sit your weight back in your heels. Can you see your toes in front of your knees? Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. Just take a breath. Notice what you notice. If your feet are apart, let's bring them back together and bring your arms overhead again. This time, interlace your fingers, point your index fingers, and come over to the right. We're going to hold this a little longer. Your hips are pushing to the left. Your gaze comes under your tricep. And again, just feel the sense of rooting deeply into Mother Earth. Inhale, bring it back up, lengthen, and exhale, come over to the side. Look under your right tricep, push those hips way over, get as much length and strength as you can. Can you straighten your arms more, especially that lower left arm? Can you pull a little more? Squeeze your thighs nice and firm. And inhale, bring it up. You can hear some geese calling overhead. Exhale, back bend. Receiving all that warm sunshine. Inhale and exhale, back to a forward fold. This time, scoop up your heels from behind as much as you can. Bend your knees deeply. With your chest on your thighs, begin to open up your hamstrings. Let your head hang and hold. One more breath. As you release that, let's just wiggle and bend here, and then we're going to step our left leg back, coming into a nice lunge. Draw your chest forward, lengthen through your back leg. And let's take a twist here. We're going to walk our hands over to the outside of our right foot and pull your left hip more forward. So you're scissoring your inner thighs together. Gives a nice release to your hips. Look over your back shoulder, getting your neck into the X. Come back to center. You have a choice here, if you'd like to, of taking a vinyasa. We're going to come to cobra for our first one. So step back to your plank pose, shoulders on top of wrists, roll back and forth a couple of times just to get the feel in the shoulders, activate thighs and core. And pause here. Externally rotate from your shoulders, internally rotate from your elbows, and come all the way down, nice and slow, to your belly. Flatten your feet, draw your elbows in, activate your thighs a little bit, rolling your inner thighs inward, lengthen your spine into an easy cobra. Let's do 3 of these. We're still in warm-up mode. Inhale, shine your heart forward, and bring it down. And one more time. Inhale, exhale. We're going to curl toes under. Actively, in one piece, see if you can come back to your plank pose. Lift, and then lift through your hips. Come into your first downward facing dog. Fingers are spread, your head is hanging. And let's just walk heel to heel for your first one. Maybe a little bigger motion, maybe a little smaller motion. Maybe you come all the way up and back. Your choice, what feels good for you in your warm-up mode. And we're going to just step our feet a little closer to our hands. Keep even weight as we lift the left hand and reach it to the outside of the right calf. Look under your right shoulder. Get that beautiful view of the mountains. Exhale, bring it back, even it out again, and then come to the left. Reach, both thighs stay even, look under your shoulder. bring it back. Step back into downward dog and take 2 nice deep breaths as you ground your hands and feet into the earth. Lift up out of the shoulders and press back. Let your head hang. And just breathe. Let's make our way to the top of the mat. I'm standing on a wall right now, so I'm not going to hop forward. I'm a little afraid I might fall off the balance beam here. We're going to sweep our arms up into a chair pose. Inhale, push your feet through and come up. Open your heart. Take that nice opening. Back bend again. Moving our spine in 2 different directions really helps to open all the vertebrae, get the fluid flowing through the spine, really loosens things up. Inhale, draw your shoulder blades back, lengthen your spine. Tilt and fold. Lengthen your spine with your chest to your thighs. Let's step the right leg back. Wiggle into a nice lunge and walk it into your twist. Your knee is moving toward the center of your body. Your right hip pulls forward, so you get this scissoring effect of your thighs pulling together. And see if you can look back over your shoulder. Bring it back to center, and we're going to pull to our plank pose again. This time let's throw a little different core exercise. Move your feet a little wider apart. Roll to one side, back to center. Other side. Keep your thighs straight and strong. Back to center. Roll. Keep your hips lifted. Center. Roll. Center. Roll. One more time. And bring it back. Roll to the tips of your toes. Strengthen your arms as you come down and roll up to upward facing dog. Now, a lot of people really want to crane their neck back in upward dog. Keep it open, but not so far back. Roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Create as much space as you can at your shoulder socket. Let your head hang. And squeeze your thigh muscles up, inward and upward, so they're very active. Take another deep breath. This time, let's float our right leg up. Press your chest towards your thigh. Draw your right knee to your right elbow. Hover and hold. Little activation again for the hip flexors and the core. Let's bring it back. Lift it up. Bring it to the left. Hover and hold. Tuck your belly and lift that leg. Inhale. Bring it back. One more time to the right, hover, and bring it back. And one more time to the left, hover. This time bring it center, try and kiss your knee. Set your foot down top of the mat. We're gonna come into Warrior One today. So you're gonna have a slight turnout of your back foot and a slight step out. So imagine your right foot has its own lane, your left foot has its own lane, and we're going to rise up into your Warrior One. Sometimes I like to take hands to hips first and just make sure they're squared up to the front, and then play with the length of your stance. Try and get as long and low as you can, and then let's exalt those hands upward. Maybe take your thumbs to the crown as you take your gaze upward. Inhale, bring arms back up and around and down. We're going to interlace our fingers, pointing index fingers. Try and keep your wrists as strongly together as you can, and shine your heart forward as you journey down into Humble Warrior. Look back to your back thigh. One more breath. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, draw hands down, float up onto the ball of your back foot, and let's step back to our plank pose. Roll to the tips of your toes, gaze is forward, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Hips are forward. Thighs are strong. Over your toes, downward facing dog. And just breathe. Let your head hang. Feel the length in every vertebra of your spine. And float your left leg up. As you bring your left knee down, bring it to your left elbow, hover, and bring it up. Bring it to the right knee, hover, and bring it up. Back to the left, hover, and bring it up. Make sure your abs are really engaged here. To the left, hover, and bring it up. And let's bring it right down the center. Kiss your knee. Set your foot down top of the mat and step your right foot just a tiny bit to the right. Angle it outward and rise up. And again, this first one, you might just take your hips, nudge that right hip more forward, left hip more back as you lower and lift your arms. And maybe the thumbs come to the crown of your head. Press through that back heel so you get nicely rooted. Really celebrating this transitional time in so many ways. Inhale, bring arms up. Bring your hands down behind you. So maybe you offset this time. It kind of creates a different brain pattern. Draw the shoulders down and fall forward. Look back to your back thigh. Keep low in your front thigh. Let your head hang and breathe. Inhale, rise up. Bring arms up. This time just square up on the ball of the back foot. Step your feet together. Situate down into a chair pose. Nice rooted, grounded feet. Your hip and sitting bones pulling back as your chest pulls forward. Can you get your arms a little straighter? Inhale, rise up. Exhale, let's take hands to heart as we just breathe that first sequence in. And we're going to add on to this. Swing arms overhead. Bring your heart forward, shine it up. And exhale, forward folding. So it's more important to have your fingertips on the floor than to have super straight legs. So you want to always protect your spine. So it's okay in a forward fold to have a little bit of bend in the knees, to have a little support from your hands. Lengthen your spine, tilt and fold. Lengthen your spine, step your left foot back. Take a nice deep breath and pull to plank pose. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, shoulders back, thighs strong, downward facing dog. Lift up out of your shoulders. Strong arms and strong thighs in your down dogs. Float your right leg up. Bring your knee to your nose and hover. You want to have a nice rounded spine there, really tucking your chin. So this one helps when you're kissing your knee to get some nice knee mobility. So we're going to start in that warrior one again. Rise up. Fingertips forward, open up through your chest. And exhale, humble warrior. Hands come down, point your index fingers, shine your chest forward, come on down. Look back to your back thigh. As you rise up, let's keep our right hand down and turn your back foot to the side, coming into extended side angle pose. Lift your chest up, look up to that right hand. Draw deeply into your right thigh. Exhale, bring it down. Step your back foot to meet your front, Utkatasana chair pose. Inhale, rise up. Lift and open your heart. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Lengthen your spine and fold. Lengthen your spine, step back, plank pose. Roll to the tips of your toes, Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Let your head just hang. Hands and feet growing roots deep into the earth. Float your left leg up. As you bring it down, kiss your knee. Set your foot down top of the mat. Step and turn your back foot out, being mindful of your right hip coming forward as you rise up, warrior one. Take a deep breath and exhale, hands come back. Interlace fingers, humble warrior. Shine your heart forward, come on down. Keep working to square your hips up in your humble warrior. As you come up, let's plant the left fingertips. If you have a block to place under your hands, that can be useful. You're going to step and turn your back foot out and square your hips up as you rise up. Take another deep breath and exhale. Square your feet, step your feet together. Rise up, chair pose. Sit way back in your heels. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. Take a moment to breathe that in and just be aware of all your cells communicating, the cell walls strengthening, your immune system building. And let's keep going. Inhale, arms overhead. It's starting to get a little warm out here. Forward fold. Lift and lengthen. Bend and lengthen. Lift again. Step your left leg back. Step your right leg back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Over your toes. Downward facing dog. So you can add a little spiral of a hip opener here. Raising your right leg. Bend your knee. Lengthen out of your hip and revolve. Keep your shoulders squared as your knee and hip aim toward the sky. Take another breath. Square your hips. Bring it down, kiss your knee. Look forward, foot comes down. Turn your back foot and rise up to warrior two. Look out over your fingertips. Draw down a little lower. Wrap your back hand around, reach and reverse. Take another deep breath. You're really opening up your side body here, so deepen that experience as much as you can. We're going to come into a bent knee triangle. Bring your arms out. Keep that thigh bent. If you want to have a little bit of a modification, your elbow can come onto your knee. If not, open it up. You can also lightly grab the ankle as a intermediate step, full on body weight right here. And then lastly, taking your gaze upward. Can you lower down and reach up? Feel as though you're being pulled apart, those two arms. Take another breath here and exhale. Bring it down. Step your 2 feet together. I love to throw these chairs in. Since we can't be in the gym, let's strengthen our thighs as much as we can. Sit way back, open your chest way up. This time, sweep your arms. Bring it up. Sweep your arms. And just really focus on even weight on both thighs. Rise up. Lift open your heart. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Tilt from your sacrum, fold down. lengthen your spine, step your right leg back. Take a moment to just feel the lunge. Step left leg back. Let's take our flow. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Nice deep breath. And float your left leg up. Watch that the shoulders don't change as the leg lifts, so only lift as far as that will work. And then take your spiral. Opening the hips, bringing the thigh down, press back through your chest. Opening shoulders here. Square your hips up, kiss your knee. Look forward, set foot down, spin around. You're up in warrior two. So I'm going to change my direction so I can still see you all. So I'm on left side, warrior two. Coming down, arms are up. We're going to wrap that, reach and reverse. Open it up. Draw down. Feel the strength in your thighs here. Feel the rounded rootedness of your feet. Take another deep breath. We're going to come into our bent knee triangle. And again, elbow to knee first phase. Second, maybe a light grab at the calf. Third is arms all the way open. You're tucking your hips forward as you're lowering down. Feel the strength in your thighs. Feel the length in your arms. And feel the groundedness in your feet. Take another breath. Inhale. As you bring it down, come into your lunge. Step your 2 feet together. Rise up, chair pose. Sitting way back. And again, sweep to the right. Arms up. Sweep to the left. Arms up. Hands to heart center. So that was really great. Just building a little strength. How are we doing? Good. So, I feel inclined to do a little balance here. So bear with me if I fall off the wall. But we're going to do a Dandayamana Dhanurasana, standing bow pulling. So let's start with our hand out, palm face up. So I'm going to start right side. And the left hand is going to be up in the air. So as we reach, we're going to reach and pick up our hand with the fingers facing the outside. So you slide your foot in. So I'm not going to go as far as I normally may. Feeling a little shaky on the wall. Kick your foot against your hand. The higher up you go, the more challenge you're giving to your balance. Keep your knee pointed straight behind you and just kick the foot back. A little more reach with your arms. Take 2 more deep breaths. And bring it back. Okay, we did it. Good. Let's see how the other side goes. So the right hand is up, the left hand is out with the palm facing out. Elbow is right by your side and you're sliding the foot, the hand from the inside, okay? Now what I see a lot of people do is at the last minute, they switch it around. And then all of a sudden you've got this real kink in your arm. So keep it nice and open. So as you pull back, you get this straight line of chest and pec opening here, okay? So get your balance, get your footing. Chin is lined up right at the shoulder. Fingertips face forward. And we begin to kick up. And if you fall, it's okay. Just get right back up. Try it again. Strong kick, foot back, chest down, arm up. And we did it. Good. So let's do one more with balance. I'm going to just turn a little towards you. So lift and pick up your right foot and place it just above your knee. See how this goes. Hands at heart center. Seated figure 4. So there's lots of places you can go with this. You can bend and bring your hands all the way to the floor. You could reach arms up or forward. Some of you might come into an arm balance. So you decide where you would like to be. Really great stretch for the hips, strengthener for the opposite side. Keep your spine lifted, your chest and heart nicely open. Take another deep breath. And change. Good. I feel like even though it's about 4 feet wide on this wall, it sort of feels like I'm on a little balance beam, and there's a little rise, so it makes for an extra balance challenge. So here we go. Sit back. So you want your weight to be back on your heel, so your knee stays right on top of your ankle. And take the arms wherever you'd like them to go. Maybe forward. This is a good prep for your arm balance, for those of you that like to do an arm balance. One more breath. Go low. Sit back. Inhale, rise up. Beautiful. Draw hands to heart center. So we're going to step to the side. Feet are about 4 feet apart. And turn your toes to the opposite directions. And take your hands and just slide the flesh back around on the thighs as you drop as low as you can into goddess pose. We're going to take goddess pose with eagle arms. So arms coming out, let's take right arm under above the elbows, hands come back around, pull the arms down just a little bit, and then begin to lower. How low can you go with a nice straight spine? Take another breath. Let's stay in goddess if we can. Bring arms out. Left arm comes under and around. Pull hands down. Really great stretch for the shoulders. Your legs might be talking to you a little bit here. That's okay. Inhale. Bring arms overhead, hands to heart center. We're still in goddess for 3 more breaths. And bring it up. And let's just kind of shake it out. So a great counter stretch for those leg strengtheners is our lizard pose. So we're going to come back to the side, drop your back knee down, and walk your front foot a little to the outside of your mat. Your back foot is just flat to the floor. And again, this may be a place you want to block to prop up your forearms. So you really want to have both forearms even. So as you come down, can you bring both forearms together? Let your head just hang. Try and pull your shoulder blades more together and just feel that luscious stretch through the groins. And as we come out of this, walk your foot back a little to the midline. Step your back foot so your feet are about 4 feet distance apart. Square your hips up and forward fold. Try and pull your hips back as much as you can and draw your head right onto your knee or shin. And bring your feet together. Let's step the left leg or right leg back. Draw that knee down. And walk your foot a little to the outside, draw elbows down again. Prop yourself up on a block. If that up, it's usually the inner elbow that might rise up a little bit. So you want them to be even on a surface. So a block or a book or two, whatever you need. And take another couple of breaths. Let your head hang. I like to take my hands in Namaskar and place my thumbs at my third eye. As a resting place here. And as we come up, we'll come back to that pyramid pose stretch. So stepping your feet about 4 feet apart, your right foot is a little adjacent to the right of the left, turned out about 10 degrees. Place your hands down and use your hands to help you square your hips up. Bring your head to your knee. And so this is a slight bend in your knee, a slight roundedness of your spine. We're going to come down onto our knees and come into camel pose. So your camel can be a half camel or a full, you decide. You want about 6 to 8 inches of distance between your knees here, and your hands are going to come as though you're sliding them into imaginary back pockets. So you use your hands as a nice easy brace for your low back, and here we go. So we're just going to begin the gentle rising of energy through the front body, up through the heart chakra, up through the throat, and maybe you stay right here. Maybe you reach back and you're able to grab your feet. Where is that foot? There we go. One more breath. As you come up, use your hands for support and rise up. It's a big head rush. And if we haven't been in our yoga practice lately, that camel can really stir up a lot of interesting energy. And the next one we're going to do is a great quadricep stretch. So it's reclining hero pose. If you have tight knees or compromised knees, I suggest you sit again on a couple of propped up books or a block. If you're able to, separate your feet just a little bit and sit down in between them. If you're almost there but not quite, just use your hands and fall back to the level that works for you. If you're all the way down where both sitting bones are touching, take your hands on top of your feet and draw down, one elbow at a time, and then the head, and then the shoulders. Nestle in, reach over your head and grab for your opposite elbows. Rotate your inner thighs inward and your knees downward. That'll create a little bit of an arch to your low back, which you want. And then as you come up, your hands are on your feet. Come up using your elbows and using your core. And then let's go to all fours to shake those legs out a little bit. So give a little shake, a little shake. Didn't that feel amazing? So another amazing stretch. Right leg coming back. Everyone's favorite pigeon pose. Right knee to the right wrist. Your foot will be aiming across any angle that you want. As you come down, if it feels like it's pulling too much, tuck the foot a little bit more inward, or maybe give yourself a little prop up on your hips. If it feels like it's not enough, pull your foot a little more toward the front of the mat. Your back toes are aiming straight behind you, and as you come down, your neck is even with the rest of your spine. So maybe there's a little bit of a prop up with a block, a towel, or your two hands. And then just kind of fall into a beautiful pigeon pose. Take 3 or 4 deep breaths here. If you like a little bit of quadricep stretch in a pigeon, you can reach back and grab your foot with one or both hands and pull in. That's another nice way to express in your pigeon. So decide where you'd like to be. And let's take another couple of breaths here. So let's come onto tabletop again and shake that right leg out a little bit. Let's do the same thing on the left side. Bringing the leg back. As you bring it through, thread the needle, slide back, and straighten out that back right foot. Decide the angle that you would like to be at. Whatever you did on the right, try and really duplicate that on the left. So sometimes you find one side is much tighter than the other. So one of the things that you can be doing at home and to really help avoid getting ill during this time is the neti pot. And so if you've noticed me sniffing a little bit, that's something that I do, and it's a saline solution that you have a little lamp and cleans out the sinuses, it keeps them moist. It's one of those age-old but very tried and true home cures. So get a neti pot if you don't have one. I know they sell them locally, but you can get them online, and it's something to do on a daily basis to keep your sinuses really cleared out. So that's your health tip of the day. Take one more breath in your pigeon pose. Keep your shoulders really relaxed. And as you come up, let's just roll our legs up to the front. Give them a little windshield wiper. So another really excellent way just to clear energy through our hips and our low back is lying on our backs, just a nice knee to chest. So extend your left leg, bring your right leg up, interlace your fingers, grab just below the knee, Pavanamuktasana. Great for the digestive organs of the body. If you'd like a deeper experience, take your left hand, grab your right side of your foot, right hand grabs the left. Make sure you can keep your shoulders down, your low back flat. So the compression of your thigh against your abdomen is what gives this the magic. Working in the ascending colon here. Send that leg up and float it away. Take your opposite side. Interlace fingers and grab. Shoulders down. Every part of your back body is just nice and rested into the earth. And if you want that deeper experience, grab opposite sides, shoulders down and flatten. Send that leg up in the air and float it away. And let's bring both legs up. Knees and feet are parallel. As you reach over the tops of your knees, see if you can grab for your opposite elbows. If not the elbows, maybe the forearms, maybe the wrist, but try and get right over left, left over right. And as you release that, bring your arms out by your sides. Take your knees just a little away from you and roll from side to side a few times. And as you take it over to the right, let your knees just come over. And take your right hand on top, look over to the left side. To the left, shift your hips a little. Take your left hand on top, look over to your right. And as you bring it back to center, let's just extend our legs down. I'm going to leave you today in Shavasana. So please take a few moments in your Shavasana, arms by your sides, eyes remain closed. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath and settle in. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today in our Yoga Outdoors.